Hi everybody, we're going to talk briefly about the clone stamp tool. This is a photograph that I took, and as is often the case, there's something in the photo that I did not notice as I was in the midst of the photo shoot. And if I zoom in closely here, I can see that there's some objects in the field beside the lake. I'm not sure if those are textbooks that a student left or a picnic or what's going on there, but I completely did not notice that when I was taking the photos, and so I want to take that out. That's a very small but distracting element for me, and the clone stamp tool is going to be your best friend when it comes to taking out objects that you may not want in the image that can be distracting. So what we want to do, use our navigator to zoom in on that particular area, and we're going to select the clone stamp tool. It's about halfway down on your toolbox bar. It looks like a rubber stamp used by a library. So we're going to click that tool, and you'll notice as I move my cursor into the screen that the circle is giving me a preview of the brush size. The brush size, just like with the eraser or the paintbrush, is variable. So you can go up to the top, select the image window or image menu at the top. There's a click down, drop down menu, and you can easily change the size of that brush. And you probably want to keep the hardness on 0. What that means is the edge of the brush is going to be soft, like a spray paint, instead of like a sharp line like a pencil. The size of the brush depends on the object that you're cloning out. It's a little bit of a trial and error thing there. But the hardness is always going to be, pretty much always going to be on 0, unless you're right up against the edge of an object, which is a whole other issue. So we're going to zoom in. We're going to hover our brush over the area that we want to clone out. Now here's the key. You want to hold down the Option key on the keyboard, and you'll see a little target pop up, little target window there. See that? Do it a few times so you can see the difference. It goes from the preview of the clone to the target area. That is the area of the image that we're going to pick up and paint over the objects that we don't want. So I'm going to hold Option down. I'm going to click with the mouse. Now I've grabbed that particular area. I'm going to hover my mouse over the objects I want to paint out, and I'm simply going to continue to paint. If you have a continuous area like grass or sky or a lake or a beach, it works great. Okay. The key, you want to avoid these repetitive elements that give away the clone stamp. So the key is to add a little bit of randomness to your painting. Change the brush size up a little bit too. Okay. So we're adding in a little bit of just randomness, and I'm actually holding Option down. I'm doing it quickly, but I'm holding Option down. I'm setting my target. I'm clicking, and I'm painting. So if you want to work real slow in the beginning to get used to it, sort of like riding a bike, once you do it a few times, you kind of work without thinking. So again, hold Option, click down, lift up on Option, and then paint. Okay. Now when you get to areas that may be a little bit different, like we've got some brush, we can zoom in even a little more. We've got some brush on the edge of the lake. We want to take out that last little bit right there, click it, and paint those pixels. And now it's pretty much indistinguishable. Okay, so if I zoom out, no one in the world would ever know that those little objects were there. If we go back and look at it in the beginning, we can see there they are, and there they are not. So we have cloned out an object. You can do this with small things, large things, but the whole key to the process is if you have a continuous background like grass or lake or something that can be translated into almost like a pattern. And that's where it's going to work really, really well for you. I first learned this technique when I would scan old slides in and there would be dust spots on them, and then that's going to be the best sort of thing to clean your image up. All right, quick lesson on clone stamping. Have fun.